Here we have an Asus laptop that came in for repair, and this one is the TUF F15. Customer wrote the model number here, FX517-2R-F15-173070. The customer wrote, laptop LCD was replaced by customer, and it seems the LCD cable as well. But after the replacement, it seems the device will no longer power on. The device was inspected, and it seems to have damage to a chip plus a short on the board near the 40-pin LCD connector. We would like to get device fully functional again. Thank you. So the customer wrote damage to a chip plus a short next to the 40-pin LCD connector. Before we continue with this video, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor Fantech for their amazing E1 and EX precision screwdriver kit. The kit includes a precision electric screwdriver, 64 bits, and 12 type of tools, including opening pick, anti-static strap, spudger, jimmy, flex extension, reverse tweezer, angle tweezer, suction handle, and much more. The bits are magnetic and are made of 60 HRC chrome vanadium steel, resistant to wear, oxidation, and corrosion, solid and durable. For more information, click on the link below and make sure to check them out. I see a problem here, or maybe that's nothing. Yeah. That's a hole. Looks like we have a hole here. Where's the LCD connector? LCD connector is... Actually, it's all the way right here. Yeah. So the chip is right next to the LCD connector. And I do see damage on the chip. Now, how did the customer figure out that there's a short circuit? Let me measure quick in diode mode. We're going to measure the DC power MOSFETs right next to the charging connector right here. And we're going to measure the drain of the second MOSFET and see if we have a short. And yes, we do. 0.001 voltage drop. That's a short. Could that short be caused by that blown chip right next to the LCD connector? Very possible. What's that chip anyway? Now I'm looking online and it looks like that's a low dropout regulator. I do not know if the chip is what's causing the short, but we're gonna find out. We have to replace that chip anyway, and I need to look for a donor that has that same chip. I never had to replace that chip on any Asus board before. We do not have that chip in stock, but we're gonna have to look at some donor boards and see if we can grab one. But for the time being, I just want to remove it and see if that will release the short. The chip is out. Let's wait until the board cools down a bit. We're gonna measure again right here. Look at this. We removed the chip and we still have a short circuit. 0.002 voltage drop. That's that short. We still have a short circuit. And look at this. I noticed a problem with the fan connector as well. One wire is loose. No problem. That's the last of our worries. Right now we still have a short circuit on the board, and in order to figure out where that short circuit is coming from, we're gonna have to inject voltage at the drain of the second MOSFET, and we're gonna monitor the board under a thermal camera and see what gets hot. Okay, look at this. I see a heat spot right at the X, and I see one on top. So that looks like a chip. And the one on top, we have a couple of MOSFETs. All right, thank you very much, thermal camera. Let's go back to the microscope and see what's going on. So heat was coming from this chip right here and from this MOSFET right here. That's 5x equals. I do have that chip in stock labeled as 5E equals. And heat was coming from here. Let me measure in diode mode the gate of the MOSFET. Do we have a short? .000 voltage drop. That's a dead short. We do not have a short at the gate here. And we do not have a short at the gate here, but we do have a short here and here. So heat was coming from here and heat was coming from here. What happens if we inject voltage at the gate of this MOSFET? It's either that one of those MOSFETs are bad or possibly the 5x equal chip. Let's go back to our thermal camera. We're gonna inject voltage at the MOSFET. Oh, the chip is getting hot. You see, so it's not the MOSFET. Let's go ahead and remove the chip without wasting any time. Okay, so the chip is out. And we're gonna find out if we still have a short or not. Cool down, cool it down, cool it down. Let's go back here. And we're gonna measure. Do we still have a short? And the answer is, we still have a short. Nice. We're gonna remove every chip on the board and still have a short. So now that the chip is out, what's causing the short? We're gonna inject voltage at the MOSFET again, or we can inject voltage at the capacitor and see what gets hot. The laptop wanna play Tom and Jerry. Chase me if you can. Okay, so right now I'm injecting voltage at the gate of the MOSFET, and we have something hot. Maybe it's the MOSFET itself. Yeah, I think the problem is the MOSFET. I think the problem is this guy right here. Let's go ahead and remove it and see what happens. We're gonna go back here and check. Now the G9661 chip was clearly burned. The 5X chip is likely bad. And now it's the MOSFET. Now when we go to measure for a short, we're gonna get a short, right? And the answer is no, the short is gone. 0.41. We got it. We got it. We do not have a short anymore. Perfect. Now the MOSFET I can replace, the chip I can replace, but the blown one, I need to look and see if we have that chip on any one of the donor boards that we have. I have the cable plugged in and I want to measure if we are getting 19 volts at the MOSFET here. And we do have 19 volts. We do have 19 volts. So we know the system is getting power now. 19 volts is going in. Before we had a short circuit where 19 volts would read 0, but now 19 volts is reading 19 volts, but still no power. So I think we're gonna put this on the side until we get the parts, if I'm able to find the parts locally. If it's gonna be a nightmare to get those parts, then I don't know. We're gonna have to communicate with the customer. I hate putting stuff on the side because sometimes you tend to forget about it or you get busy with other stuff and then customer complains, where's my laptop? What's going on with my laptop? So anytime it's difficult to get parts for any particular device, we just deem it a no fix and mail it back to the customer. Because ordering from China is a nightmare. If we order a chip and it arrives after 2 months, then the customer is gonna be complaining. Even after you fix his or her laptop, they're gonna still be dissatisfied because it took a long time to fix. So we try to avoid those delays. If it's gonna be hard getting the part, we just mail it back to the customer and we deem it a no fix.